I have about 500 orchids, and today we're going to talk about the 5 things I wish I knew 5 years ago. Let's start with airflow, and this is really important right now because of this insane rain we are getting because of El Nino. El Nino. So you can see I actually have about 5 or 6 fans going because, well, a couple reasons. Right now, obviously, the rain is crazy. Everything is soaking wet all the time. Not good. Roots do not want to be wet all the time. So these fans obviously dry it off. But actually, believe it or not, the bigger point in this and the more important point in all of this is that orchids, while they want to be dry, they really, really want airflow around their roots. It stops fungus, it makes them happy, it makes them grow more. I didn't start the whole fan thing until recently, so even if you just have a few orchids, just get a little fan, just get a little breeze going across those orchids all the time, and you would be shocked at the difference in your orchids. In fact, I have my mother-in-law, Yaya. Yaya hasn't been down to her orchid garden in a long, long time, but she had a big oscillating fan that she just never turned off. She didn't think about it. I went down there like a detective. I'm looking at everything, and I'm like, this has got to be covered in fungus and bugs. I mean, she hasn't touched this forever. There is nothing, completely clean. There was no problems. And again, it's because she didn't even know she was doing it. So on accident, she actually was protecting her entire orchid collection by having the fan having the air hitting all the orchids. Oh my goodness, it's raining again. Stop. Okay, I'm kind of limited here. I got to stay under my lanai roof. So I don't know if I can do with many more right now. We're gonna have to wait for the. I mean, this is insane. It's El Nino. I know I'm getting obnoxious about this, but it's gonna be like this for months because we're having a historic weather pattern, and I'll stop talking about it. Okay, another thing I learned was that you should get orchids and grow orchids that like your climate. Trying to grow an orchid that doesn't like your climate, I don't care what you do, it's not going to happen. It's not going to work. A good idea, a good example would be a cymbidium. Cymbidiums are cooler growing orchids. I tried to grow some here. Guess what? They died. Wow, it's amazing. It's weird. It was because they don't like being here. I can make the light and the food and the water and everything's perfect. But if this isn't the climate that they want, they're not going to be happy. So you want to stick with things that naturally occur in your environment. Like in Sarasota, Florida, subtropical, you're looking at your Vanda, you're looking at your Cattleya. An extreme example is raining on me. Uh, would be this, which actually grows naturally in Florida. So of course it just grows like a weed. It's incredible. Um, so again, stick with things that grow here. I have trouble with some oncidium. Some oncidium don't grow here naturally. Just keep an eye out for that kind of thing. I got to think of another lesson I can tell you without getting soaking wet. Okay. Do you see all of these plants hanging from the top of my lanai? What I wish I had known 5 years ago is that orchids do not like being on the ground. If you take a potted orchid, potted orchids aren't necessarily like evil, they'll be fine. But if you take that potted orchid and put it on the ground with no airflow around it, you're really asking for trouble. So I'm at a point in my career, in my orchid career, that I hang 90% of my orchids. They're happier, more airflow, they dry faster. So definitely something I wish I'd realized earlier because I lost a lot of orchids because the the black rot, the fungus, the bacteria, everything just converges onto these plants if you don't have them. I lost literally almost every single Oncidium one year because I had them all under a table on the ground, and I was wondering, I was looking at them, I'm like, they look terrible. In fact, they all look terrible in the same way. In fact, they all have the same disease. In fact, they're all so diseased that it's over. Like, I am not bringing these things back. So, what I wish I had known 5 years ago is that, oh, the rain's stopping, is that you definitely want to give as much airflow as possible to your orchids. Yay, it's not raining quite as much. Okay, the next thing I learned of the 5 things is I wish I hadn't bought absolutely gigantic Vandas. Okay, so I don't know if you can see this that well. It is huge. I mean, huge. And the problem with these Vandas, while beautiful and while they might give you a bunch of flowers, is they weigh like 30 pounds. And moving them from one place or another, or maybe they're blooming and you want to like display them somewhere, it's not easy. I mean, where are you going to hang them? It's going to totally overtake the display. So, in hindsight, and I found, honestly, with these Vandas, Van Dyne, I don't know what the plural is. You see those guys? I mean, they're in little plants. So the little plants have nice flowers. The massive plants have nice flowers. Just as an aside, I want you to look. Look at this orchid. It is literally as tall as me. It is a 6-foot tall orchid. It is an antelope type dendrobium. There's a phalaenopsis type and an antelope type dendrobium. Anyway, this is, in my climate, the fastest growing. I mean, this is crazy. And look at this thing. Look, this is a new growth for this year. Look at that. They're so cool. And they have a ton of flowers, and they flower all the time. Here's one that's flowering. Ooh. So they become absolutely massive. I guess that's not something I necessarily wish I'd learned, but I mean, that's cool. That's cool. That's a showstopper. Okay, let's talk about pests. I wish I had taken pests more seriously. And what do I mean by that? Like, one of my flowers would be deformed, there'd be something going on somewhere, and I'd say, well, that stinks, well, whatever, and I would go on my day and not think about it anymore. That was a mistake, because once a pest gets going, it's not going to stop. And the more you ignore it, the worse it's going to get. Thrips are a big problem. If you haven't, I'm sure you've dealt with them already. There's mealybugs and all. Let me give you an example. So this is, this is a perfect example because they're on here. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Okay, this is a catasetum. Let's see if there's any way. Do you see that little white thing? Huh, right? Okay, so in the past, you've got to be kidding me. In the past, I would have seen that and been like, there's just a couple little white spots. No big deal, right? It's a big deal because I would say 2 weeks later, because all of my catasetum were together and mealybugs love catasetum, I came back 2 weeks later and it was just covered in that white fuzziness. And then I was like, whatever, it's just white fuzziness. What's the big deal? They can hang out on my plant. It's just, that doesn't work that way either. Because I don't know what they're doing to the plant, but it doesn't make the plant happy. It's sucking on the plant and doing something. Nothing flowered. All the leaves died. I didn't take the pests seriously. So what I'm going to do with what I just showed you after this filming is I'm going to sprint sprint with that plant in hand into the kitchen, and I am going to rub off with soap and a toothbrush all the little white things on it. And you know, I have probably 15 or 20 catasetum. I got to come back out. I got to look at every one, make sure there's not a single little white guy, and then if there is, I'm going to kill it. You got to be all over this stuff. And thrips are brutal. If you see especially a vanda, but any sort of flower that looks kind of crunched, especially on the outside, right when they bloom, you've got thrips. And those suckers, if you do not take care of those, within a couple of weeks, nothing's blooming. Everything is dead. Everything is blooming, deformed, and dead. They're not going away. So at that point, you have a total infestation. You got to be spraying them with all kinds of chemicals. You got to get like a full hazmat suit on, and it's no fun. I'm exaggerating, but yes, it's pretty intense. Do not take it seriously. I made that mistake. I am pissed. Are you allowed to say that on YouTube? I just found a couple more with those little white bugs on them. I have some chemicals that'll kill them. And if it gets bad enough, I'll just dunk the whole plant in it. And the plants seem to be okay with it. Those things are so brutal. Okay, next thing I wish I knew about was this. This is a zip tie. I use zip ties constantly. I think they're one of the most important tools in an orchid garden because, well, they have a million different uses. A million different. Of course, at this moment, I can't think of one. Am I serious? Just take my word for it. Zip ties are very important. There's all kinds of uses for them. If you don't know how to keep two things together, oh, I know. Like if you're mounting something, right? If you're mounting an orchid onto a piece of wood or a piece of cork or something, some people use string or whatever. I find that very difficult. So this is like perfect. Okay, next up on the 5 things I wish I'd known 5 years ago is this guy here. Right? Do you know what that is? That is a leaf blower. Why does that matter? Because anything that's on the ground has some sort of pathogen in it. So if you're not constantly, right, like blowing stuff out of your area, it's a problem. When an orchid leaf dies and falls on the ground, what happens immediately is bugs and pathogens and whatever fungi, they all attack it because it's weak, it's dead. There's no defenses anymore. So they attack it so they have something to eat. It's still got some food, and there's like a buffet. So you have to keep this stuff off the ground. So if you have any leaves on the ground, you blow them out of there. Otherwise, you're going to run into trouble. Okay, this is the grand finale. The last thing I wish I learned 5 years ago is to just back off and don't buy so many orchids, right? Like you can take your time. You have a long life ahead of you. It's okay. Yes, it's an addiction. You can probably get some help somewhere, but it's okay to just say, hey everyone, I have a problem. I'm not going to buy any more orchids. Wait, what am I talking about? I'm full of it. That's not true. You can't have enough orchids. Forget everything I said about that. That is not something I learned. What I did learn is never stop. Never stop. I don't care if they're hanging from the ceiling and they're everywhere and you don't even know what you're going to do with yourself. Buy more. That is what I've learned.